Joe has the character and the experience to guide us through one of our darkest times and heal us through a long recovery.
See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son.
But I am not running for vice president. I would not accept it if anyone offered it to me. The fact of the matter is, I would much prefer to stay as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee than vice president.
Will you ever run for political office again?
No.
Joe has the character and the experience.
Does nothing to tackle the #1 job facing the middle class. And it happens to be, as Barack says, a 3-letter word. Jobs. J-O-B-S. Jobs.
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what, you're making everybody else stand up, though, pal. Thank you very, very much. I tell you what, stand up for Chuck.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything. You just let them talk, and that's what happened here.
Reporters were starting to uncover, accusations of plagiarism, both in his campaign speeches and in his coursework in law school, misrepresentations about his grades, etc. And there you see Biden, full of bluster when one person in the kitchen or wherever in New Hampshire said, didn't you inflate your grades? Biden lost it and started berating the man in a way that could only make him look like a bully and like a blowhard.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Joe gets stuff done.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. His mom lived in Long Island for 10 years or so. God rest her soul. And although your mom's still alive as your dad passed. And thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, or Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor. I'm not going nuts.
You'd be the oldest president in American history.
Are you Winston Churchill?
All right, Chuck, thank you very much.
It's Chris, but anyway.
It would put 720 million back in the workforce. We choose truth over facts. To the words united, to the number 30330, 30330, or 303330, or BOO, wait, but you got it. That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of, $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air. Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it, it's so much. And by the way, it's cost a lot of money. It cost about $740 billion over 10 years. and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Granddaughters not only love their dads, their grandpops, they always like them, and that's the great thing. Thank you, baby. Thanks.
And why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
I was a Democratic caucus.
Where does this stop?
Here he comes, see him on your screen. Sleepy Joe, his old VP, is nowhere to be seen. Hey, hey, it's Obama, swooping in to bail out Joe. He's locked up in a basement, dressed up, nowhere to go. Can't say what he wants to, can hardly say a thing. Plagiarism and white lies seem to be his thing. Hey, hey, it's Obama, showing up to save the day. Sleepy Joe, he's a puppet with nothing to say. He can't get a fact straight, makes it up as he goes. It's like a weekend at Bernie's, yeah, but it's a weekend at Joe.
A man who will be the next president of the United States, Barack America. I propose, and I'm going to digress slightly. We're in a situation. The president asked me to head up a cancer moonshot.
Joe, you want to administer the oath?
Am I doing this again?
For the
senior staff. All right.
A number of the cabinet members have already.
My memory is not as good as Justice Roberts, Chief Justice Roberts. Does anyone have the? No, if we do everything right, we do it with absolute certainty. We stand up there and we make really tough decisions. There's still a 30% chance we're going to get it wrong.
Hey, hey, it's Obama, swooping in to bail out Joe. He's locked up in the basement, dressed up and nowhere to go. Well, hey, hey, it's Obama, showing up to save the day. Sleepy Joe, he's a puppet, nothing to say.